everybody, it's Doom and I'm back working on this hangar. This is a silly build. It's a fun build. So this is 16 inches long, right? So what I'm going to do is every 2 inches I'm going to make a little line. And I'm just going to add some flash to the outside, some flare, if you will, to make it a little bit cool. Oh, when I ruled the world. And then we need something. You could use anything, really, as long as it's 1.5 inches tall. Cardstock's probably an easy bet. We use cardstock. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of thin strips of cardstock and then use those in various ways to make my and I just want to make these kind of the same. I prefer to use a square. To do this. It gives me more surface to hold on to. And I'm just going to cut off this excess crap. That's when I rule the world. Poopy butt, stinky dookie butt, smelly-o, dinky dooby-do. Cutting cardstock. It's better than accidentally cutting my thumb or my thing that rhymes with stock. Knives that don't cut, and knives cut, but they do. Knives that won't cut, but they will cut my hand. I'm going to show you guys the culprit that cut me, if I can find. I think I might not be able to. I think I wung it. The video I was recording when I cut myself got scrapped because there was just I ran upstairs with the phone. I was bleeding. I was screaming to get the door. I was dripping blood everywhere. My kids came running out because I was yelling and they started screaming. And I don't edit stuff. And there was no coming back to where I was. And this mat was covered in blood. The floor was covered in blood. It was just, there was no recovering it as far as I'm concerned. Maybe, a more talented YouTuber would have recovered it, but I'm not that guy. Okay, so the simple solution here is to just kind of eyeball this, okay? Yeah, I could have measured 2 dots, but I'm not that guy. So I'm just going to attempt to do it this way. Oops. And then as I go, I'll just snip off everything that sticks above. And as long as you have it kind of centered on that, it should be okay. One of my employees has been complaining about chemical exposure, and we've really kind of gone out of our way trying to be accommodating and figure it out, do an investigation, and unfortunately, there's really no chemicals that there's a risk of exposure to causing the symptoms that she has. And it's just become a giant burden. And finally, someone above me in management stepped up, because I'm one of the lowest shit level, people in the organization. Somebody way above me stepped up and put an end to it. Said, look, you're going to have to go on disability, like short term, or you're going to have to quit because, you know, this is the job. If you can't do it, you can't do it. And I just, you know, I don't feel good about that answer. I just feel like, yeah, I don't think there's really a problem there. I really don't. But I just don't want someone to be put in a situation where they have to quit their job or, you know, lie or do something to make it work. And I understand we have only so much in the way of responsibility of these people. I do. But it really bothers me. Because I like this person. I think she's a good employee. She's been a good employee for 3 years. There's a little bit of this sticking up here for some reason. It's coming off. Maybe I didn't do a good job putting it on. But for 3 years, she's been a stellar employee. Not stellar, but, you know, showed up to work and did the shit I asked her to do. So I just hate this whole situation really, really badly. Just wish it wasn't the case. Oh. My glue gun won't stand up. Stand up, glue gun. Stand up for your right to party. Glue gun. This is just going to add an extra layer of decor. You know what I'm saying? I try not to talk about my work stuff too much, but it's really weighing heavy on me. And I know that I don't have the final say and that, you know, it's not up to me. I had my chance and I apparently was too patient and too nice. We can leave this down here exposed. When you spray paint it, it's at the bottom. I don't think it's going to be super noticeable. If I had to guess, I would say it's not going to be super noticeable. No, but one of the things that brings to point is personal health is important. Like making sure that you get adequate sleep and that you're not smoking or vaping too much and that your rest cycles are appropriate. You know when your schedule is, you know, to make sure you're adequately rested. This stuff is important. That every one of you should stop and make sure that you're doing what needs to be done when it comes to your work, your sleep schedule, because no one's responsible for making sure you're healthy but you. Now, I'm going to make sure you're safe and that you're not, you know, in a situation where you're getting exposed to bad stuff the best I can. That's my goal. My dream is to make sure everybody goes home in the condition they came in. But if there's some accountability there on your side where you're being a little crazy about shit, maybe hypochondriac behavior or anxiety behavior, and it's probably not related to the job because, you know, there's some indicators we can look at, air quality and stuff. I'm just going to tug this out and make a little piece of decorative there just to clean up that edge. But we can do stuff like, yeah, you want to say like people weren't trying to help you, but we have records indicating that we are trying to help. And I would support them if they asked about it. I'd say, yes, we did that, we did that, we did that. You know, we made these efforts because we did. We put a lot of effort in. I've been losing sleep over this, like literally going and covering shifts for her because she felt uncomfortable or she felt sick. Like I've done everything I can. Like I had to stay up 24 hours 2 times in the past 2 weeks because I had to do my job, then go cover her shift because there was no one else to do it. But she's saying she doesn't feel good, and she's saying she doesn't feel safe at the workplace, so I have to do something, you know. I can't just ignore that. So on the inside, we don't want to go the every 2 inches thing, especially since we didn't do it before we added this stuff. But what we want to do in here is to make it simple as possible. I'm going to get a piece of cardstock here. This has this gunk on it. And I'm going to take that flat edge, and I'm going to cut a nice long thin strip about I don't know, 7/8 of an inch. I'm gonna get my scissors. I'm gonna cut that into some panels. My goal is to have 6. And these are just gonna be pieces of sheet metal that have been roboted to the inside. I'm gonna leave that last one whole. Now, truthfully, if I thought for a minute there was really a chance that there's some kind of chemical exposure, I have other employees there too. I'd be concerned for everybody's safety, not just one person's. That's just the way I am. I'm going to put these on the inside over here. Just turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing, or get in here a little better. And make sure it's on camera. So what I'm doing is putting these inside here. But realistically, we're at the point where nothing else can be done and it's out of my hands. So I can think about it all I want. I can talk about it, I guess, anonymously. I can't, say her name or my company's name or anything, but okay. Now this is ready for a paint job. And all I'm going to do is be spray painting this, and you'll see this when I come back. But now, we need to assemble our walls. So the back wall, I want to double as a door, but I want the door to come up and not be part of the back. I want it to be something separate. And the front wall, we know just fits in like that. And then we need to have, the curve up here. And to get that started, we can glue the outside parts in place, like 3 parts, and then take it off and work on it. But I need to make a door for back there yet, and then glue that on before I do any painting, or before I do any spraying. Yes, painting. All right, so let me make a door that goes back into the bunker from there. And to do that, I'm just going to get some cardstock, and I have a piece here that I cut out of the front door that is the exact dimensions that we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn that. Let me see if it fits first. Okay, it's a little bit big for where I have a clear spot, so I'm going to take 1 inch off of that. And since I'm taking 1 inch off, I'm going to do it on the side there. And then I have a nice rectangle. And then I want to make this look nice, so I'm going to take those long strips that I cut. I'm going to snip off my excess crud. And then I'm going to measure this to fit inside here. And I just did that little pilot cut to make sure it fits snugly. I'm going to dry fit it again just to make sure everything's perfect. And it looks good. Now this video is not going to get released today, just like the first part wasn't. I got kind of sucked into working her shifts because she's either not coming to work anymore for now, until she figures out what she's going to do, or maybe it's too late. I don't know. So now I have to work those shifts, and we have a guy hired, actually a friend of mine, But we're in the middle of a hiring freeze, so he can't start till the 16th because of some bullshit program we're using for I don't know what for. It's called Workday. It's some dumb shit. All right, let me use this piece here. All right, so just to bulk my door out a little bit more and make it a little more interesting, I'm going to add some shit on the sides here. Just to make it look a little like more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, a little more, oh, crap, you dick. All right, you know what? That didn't work out because that's not sturdy enough. Trying to make it nice, and I just made it all shitty. That's when I rule the world, eating cheese, hanging out with the Bee Gees. Dude. So I think I'm really funny. And one of our council members wears a giant cross on the outside of their shirt, and they lead the prayers at city council meetings and all this other stuff, and they're like, you know, big Christian or whatever. And in my opinion, people that claim to be the best Christians are the biggest hypocrites. People like me who are just like, yeah, I believe in something. I believe in a higher power. We tend to be a little more trustworthy than your average proclaimers, in my opinion. Obviously, that is just my opinion. But anyways, this dude, like, and there's nothing wrong with being gay or anything, but he'll like go to a gay pride parade and then wear his cross around his neck, but you know, he'll tuck it in his shirt because he's like afraid that being a Christian will offend somebody or whatever. It's just super awkward behavior, in my opinion. Like, so I call him the fourth Gibbs brother, the missing BG, and I think I'm really fucking funny. So that's going to be the back door that goes to the facility, and I need to put some kind of like keypad or something on there. So to do that, I'm just going to, well, I'd like to have a line dividing that down the middle, like to show that it opens with a seam. And it's kind of late in the process to do this, but what I'm going to do is just kind of score that to look like it. And then to make my panel, I'm just going to get a little square here, or a rectangle. Make sure it's a rectangle and not some weird other thing. Get rid of any spider webs in there. And then we got to get something for that. So I'm just going to get the tiniest little bit of cardstock here. That's just a panel that I cut out for somewhere I never used. And I'm going to find some super glue. I'm going to get Little drop on there. I'm gonna get my poker and my little dot, my little bead things, my little gem painting gems. I'm gonna just make a little panel there. And then I don't want those buttons to look too gem-like. I want them to look more smooth. So that's my door that's going to get glued to the inside here. All right, then I just want to make sure there's no sand back here that's going to interfere with that gluing nicely. And I'll just dry fit it. And it looks like it's going to go just where I want it to. Okay, now we need to do the roof and sort that out. This is going to be a little bit too short. I need it to be a little bit longer. So let me find some stuff. We'll set this off to the side for a minute. All right, so here's the box. And there's the natural straight edge it came with. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our struts out of this. And I have a long square somewhere, but I couldn't tell you where the shit it is. Yeah, I don't know. I do have a really long square too, like a 2-foot contractor square. Could be anywhere, but I don't know where it is. So we're going to use this. We're going to make lots of mistakes while we do it. So I'm just going to put that there, line it up the best I can. Attempt to make a really long cut. This is going to be a mistake, I can tell already. Thank God we have a factory edge there to work with. An inch might have been a little bit much, but if we can get 3 of those, we should be okay. This one's going to have that horrible glue seam on it. I don't know what I can really do about that. I guess I could cut it at 1/2 inch, but I don't want to. Okay. Now we need some. Oh, I better put that knife away before I cut this shit out of myself. Well, I'll be cutting the blood out of myself. Oh, there, my blood. All right, let's lift this up. Turn this. So what we want to do is we want to definitely get this on the outside. These have a little bit of play in them, so I'm just going to kind of pull them as vertical as I can, and then I'm going to get it on there, and then I'm going to cut off some of the excess. That is my plan. So to get started, I'm going to set this up on its side, or not. Okay, that is a mistake. Mistake is being made as we speak. Okay. Then I'm going to get my scissors if I can find them. And I'm just going to leave enough to where it's even with the outside here on the front and back. And then I'm going to do this side. I'm going to cut it the same way, just to where it's kind of even with the outside of my box. And then we need to do one in the top middle, and that's going to sturdify. That's a technical term. Sturdify our frame. And what you want to do is try to center that the best you can. You only have a few seconds to play with it. I have a feeling mine's not centered. Let me turn this. Yeah, mine is definitely not centered. Okay. And it looks kind of like a toolbox. And just because we know how much we cut off at the top and bottom, or on the sides I should say, we also know we have about the same amount to leave when we cut this off. Okay, so this needs to be sturdified. So to sturify it, we're going to get our glue. And just run it inside those inside seams a little bit. And push it in there with the nozzle. And that's going to give us a sturdy kind of deal. And that's going to be our frame for our roof. Now let's assume it sits back in here the way it's supposed to. And from the sides, should cover. It does. All right, cool. All right, so that is step one, folks. What is going on with this? Is this curved? No, it's just a bad cut. All right, so now we need to make the roof pieces that go across, or we can do them long ways. It really doesn't matter. You could do it a lot of different ways, I suppose. But I just wanted this to be kind of sturdy for now, and I think we've accomplished that. I wonder if this would fit inside here. Yeah, it sure would. I'd like to put a support in the middle there. I'm going to cut this off a little bit here. And then I'm going to cut a piece to glue inside there just to give it a little more oomph. And no one's really going to see this piece. But we'll know it's here. I will just do this. And then, like the brilliant blokes we are, we'll just get a little extra love. Okay, so I'm probably going to fill this in off camera, whether I use cardstock or cardboard, I don't know. I'm guessing I'm probably going to use cardboard if I have anything long enough. Or I might use Dollar Tree foam. I don't know what I'm going to use, but I'll probably do a lot of that off camera because I can't really think of anything constructive I'm going to teach you at that point, you know what I mean? Just putting strips of shit across here. And that's the extent of that excitement there. Seems sturdy enough. All right, so I think I'm going to call it there. I had to get some sleep before I go to work. There's part 2 of the hangar, and here's the bot inside the hangar, so you can kind of see how big of an area he takes up for this fight. It's pretty significant. I do need to make a door for this, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to or not, but we'll see. And one of the things is, keep in mind, this might warp a little bit at some point, and I think it's already warped a little bit, really, from where I put the first layer of Mod Podge down in the base. You can get it warm, and you can put weight inside of it, and you can mush it back down, okay? Don't worry about losing a little bit of shape. Also, another thing you can do is you can get some, like, duct tape and put it on the bottom. And believe it or not, duct tape has the magic power. Like, if you put like 2 strips of duct tape here, it would literally probably straighten out any dead shit you have. It's just duct tape's magical like that. So, all right, so there we go. That's our build so far. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this this little segment here. It was a short one, but that was part 2. And when I come back for part 3, I think that we're gonna have a lot of the painting. Part 3, I'll have this done, and I'll have everything spray painted, and then we'll come back and do some painting and stuff, and talk about the fight some more. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, be safe.